So, chapter 10, day 2. What we're going to look at is just a small section of vocabulary for this next section of notes. So the first thing is, it's dealing with statistically significant results.
Oh, right.
So statistically significant, a result that is too large of enough of a difference that it couldn't have happened by chance. So when they come up with their conclusions, if the results that they see couldn't have happened by chance, then they will say these are statistically significant results. There's just no way it could have happened by chance. There's some key vocabulary for this, for experiments, and one is blinding. If you think about blinding, is you're keeping someone from seeing something in this experiment. So we have a couple types of blinding. The first is called a single blind. So single, one person is being blinded. Either the subject, which is who the experiment is being done on, or the evaluator. That's the person that's looking at the subject, evaluating them. In this case, either the subject or the evaluator don't know what treatment the subjects receive. They don't know what group they're in. And you might say, well, someone has to know. There is a person who keeps track of this, and they're off to the side. They don't evaluate, and they're not subjects, but the subjects are all given a number, for example. And patient number 57 comes in, and the evaluator evaluates patient number 57, and they send their information out on patient number 57. But the evaluator doesn't know what group that person is. Did they get the experimental drug, or did they get the placebo, or what? Okay? If that's the case, if either one or the other don't know, then it is single blind. Double blind, so hence the word double meaning two. Both the subject and the evaluator don't know what treatment the subjects receive. Okay? So both the person getting the treatment and the person evaluating, neither of them know what was received. And sometimes there's no blinding. When both know what group the subjects are in, then there's no blinding at all. So let me give you some examples here. So single blind. Let's say I am in an experiment in which I sit out in the sun to try to improve my skin complexion. And the control group stays indoors, the experimental group sits out in the sun, and they go get seen by a dermatologist. I know what group I'm in. I know I'm in the sun group or the indoor group. The dermatologist, the evaluator, shouldn't know what group I'm in to evaluate my skin complexion and whether or not there's been a change. Double blind. I might receive a pill, and I don't know if it is the medicine or a fake pill. And let's say I'm measuring skin complexion again. Well, I shouldn't know what group I'm in, and the person evaluating my skin complexion shouldn't know what group I'm in. And that would be a case of double blinding. No blinding. Let's say I'm doing a weight loss program, and I'm either running on a treadmill or riding a bike. I know what group I'm in, and how do we measure weight loss? We step on a scale and look at the numbers. We don't need to blind the evaluator. The evaluator is just going to read how much weight the scale says. We don't need to hide that from them. So in this case, there'd be no blinding. The other last piece is lurking variables. Lurking variables, if you think about it, something that lurks is in the background. It's when other variables that we're not trying to study have an impact on the result. And so you do your experiment and you finish up and you look at your results and then you say, oh, I wonder if this other thing over here had an impact on it. And we weren't trying to study that, but I bet you it did. And if so, that would be a lurking variable. Happened a few years ago. they thought they saw an association between eating oat bran and having a healthy heart. And so they produced all the foods had to have oat bran in it. And the lurking variable, though, was the people that they were studying were also not eating pizza, chicken wings, and beer every day. And so therefore it was an overall diet that they were on, an overall, I don't call it a diet, overall eating program that they just did naturally as part of their lives. And they probably exercised a little bit too. And it wasn't just the oat bran. All those other variables came into play that they initially didn't think about. So those were lurking in the background and they impacted the results. And those are called lurking variables. So that's it for now.